I've been reading for as long as I can remember. My childhood memories are peppered with trips to the library and summer afternoons, sitting in the shade as I sank further into a mythical world. It was my journey as a reader, or several journeys, if you quantify my adventures by the number of books I've consumed, which would lead me towards my journey as a writer. Yet in order to write stories which excite me, I must continue reading those which will do the same. As I combed through the numerous top 100 lists, I began to notice the same novels coming up. I had stumbled on other good books, ones which I had enjoyed but never seen on these lists. Ones I would have missed if I had only relied on what these numbered guides had directed me to. The library was always a safe bet, but whether it was a physical location or the internet, I soon learned I would need a number of methods to locate new and exciting reads. Hello, this is Riley and welcome back to Otherworldly Fiction. If you want to see more content like this, please remember to subscribe. The first place to find books that I want to talk about is Goodreads. Goodreads doesn't just introduce you to books, it offers reviews so that you can see what others thought of the novel. While it's important to form your own opinion, combing through reviews, while being careful to avoid spoilers, can warn you of any especial pet peeves you might want to avoid in a given book. If typos bother you and numerous reviews cite them, the book in question can be removed from your to-be-read list. On the other hand, if you prefer to avoid reviews as a general rule and instead glance at the star system, you'll be given an idea of the book's performance. A 4-star read is generally a safe bet. Every book will have critiques, but such a rating is an indication that the majority were entertained, if not wowed. Type in a random word, such as moonlight or vampire, and you will be given a random list of stories to peruse. Look at the other works of your favorite author. View all the books in a series. See what other people are reading, or search by genre or word to bring up a certain type of book. Goodreads is a useful tool for discovering unknown work and seeing if whatever you find is right for you. The next place to find books is Pinterest. Type in the word books and you'll be treated to pictures people have taken of their own libraries. People will often group certain books together. You may see a collection of the classics, or a box set of a fantasy series you've never heard of. Pinterest allows you to save each image to a board, which you could name Books to Read if you so desire, and click through to other pictures like the one you've just viewed. If you're one of those readers who likes to collect books for their covers, Pinterest will show you gorgeously designed novels 90% of the time. If something intrigues you, write the title down. By the end of your viewing session, you could have hundreds of books on your self-made list. Your list will also be personalized, based on your tastes rather than that of a top 100 list. The next place to go is the library. While the internet is a useful avenue for discovering new work, the library remains one of the best methods of discovering books you haven't read. The library has its drawbacks. If it's small, its collection will still be limited, and you have to remember to return the books on time. I'm notorious for turning in my books late. However, the library has its advantages too. While the internet offers you a chance to view endless books and read reviews, the library allows you to hold the book in your hands. You can read as many chapters as you like in order to ascertain whether it's to your taste or not. Taking books also costs you nothing, provided you return them right away, and most libraries offer seating areas so that you can sink into the book on the spot. The next place is Value Village. The library's one great drawback is that you can't keep the book. This means you may have to rush through a book, or relinquish a story you've grown unusually attached to. For many readers, building a collection is half the fun. It's a joke that readers will still buy books, even as their stash of unread novels grows. For those on a budget, Value Village provides books for $3 or less. This is much more affordable than the bookstore, which can charge up to $30 for each book. Value Village is also made up of those works which people have donated, which means the selection will be more random. While this could improve the chance of duds, it also improves your chances of finding something unique. Unlike a bookstore, or even the library, you won't be shoehorned into buying the latest bestsellers or top young adult fiction. Instead, you might discover an incredible read from the 70s, or a book that was beloved 20 years ago. Even if you have something specific in mind, there is a strong chance that they'll have what you're looking for. Fan favorites are easy to find. You're guaranteed to find a Lord of the Rings box set, the Twilight Saga, or your favorite piece of classic literature. You could walk away with the entire Game of Thrones series for under $10. Well, the first 5 books, that is. If there isn't a Value Village near you, other thrift stores will offer books, though the size of their collection will vary by place. The next place you can find books is, of course, the bookstore. Bookstores are more expensive than thrift shops, but cheaper than chains like Chapters. They'll also include a mix of both new and old books. Whether you're a fan of Charles Dickens or Suzanne Collins, they'll have what you're looking for. If you're looking for advice on what to read next, those who work at local shops will be more likely to chat with you, sharing the books they've enjoyed or those indie darlings which continue to escape the notice of larger outlets. If you meet the owner of a local bookshop, you'll find someone who's knowledgeable and passionate. It's highly likely they will be a reader just like you and will be accordingly eager to share their favorites. Even as ebooks increase, the value of brick-and-mortar locations remains. In person, you can read chapters, ask questions, and make comparisons. Some bookstores even offer surprising quirks. While you peruse a novel, you might find a cat rubbing against your leg. The next best place to get books is from friends and family. Word of mouth remains a great way to discover new books, particularly if one of your friends reads obscure fiction. Ask your parents which books they enjoy now, or even which ones they enjoyed as children and teens. My mother introduced me to the works of Agatha Christie, while my dad lent me his Elric series, works of fantasy he read as a teenager. Ask your friends what they like. Your closest pal might give you something unexpected, such as a book that was based off a video game but was somehow good. Every person who's ever enjoyed reading has at least one book in their collection few others have heard of. The next place to find books is author collections. Finding a new book might be as simple as choosing an author to follow. Sift through your collection. Which books did you enjoy? Who were the authors? By reading other works by the same author, you're more likely to find something you'll enjoy. If you loved Interview with a Vampire, a trip to Anne Rice's website will reveal a plethora of books you've never read. George R.R. Martin has written other fantasy books besides Game of Thrones. Stephanie Meyer, the author of Twilight, has another series, The Host, and a book titled The Chemist. This strategy works for old authors too. If you enjoyed A Christmas Carol, you can find lists of all of Dickens' works. Typing in Frank L. Baum reveals that The Wizard of Oz is actually part of a series. This was a big revelation for me. Some authors might only have 5 books to their name, but others may have 50 or more books. The works of Stephen King alone would keep you occupied for years. Classical literature also offers another benefit. There's a good chance you can buy their entire body of work in one giant book for $30 or so. This is especially true for short story collections. The last place you can find new work is by following my work. Yes, I'm advertising myself. Still, it can't hurt, right? My primary genre is fantasy with elements of drama. If that sounds like your cup of tea, I'll post blogs here of any relevant announcement. If my work doesn't sound like your cup of tea, that's okay. Whether it be through the internet, your friends, physical locations, or an author that had the gall to promote herself, there are plenty of ways to discover new work. Who are some of your favorite authors? What do you do to discover obscure books? Let me know, and thank you for listening.